Rain hammered the asphalt like it had a personal grudge, soaking Daniel's jacket as he tightened the last bolt beneath the luxury sedan. He could already picture the consequences. Late again, hands filthy, manager furious. But he couldn't leave the car stranded. Not when a woman sat inside, pale and trembling, hazard lights blinking like a silent plea. Daniel was a single dad, juggling school drop-offs and overdue bills while working as a junior mechanic at a high-end auto company that prized speed over compassion. When he saw the car stall at the edge of the lot, his instinct won. He waved the woman to stay dry, slid under the chassis, and worked through the rain, breath fogging, fingers numb. It took 10 minutes. The engine purred back to life. Relief washed over the woman's face. "Thank you," she said, pressing a card into his palm. Daniel smiled, waved it off, and jogged inside, straight into his manager's glare. "You left your station," the manager snapped. "You broke protocol. You're done." Daniel didn't argue. He just nodded, thinking of his daughter's science project due tomorrow, of the rent reminder taped to the fridge. He packed his locker while the rain streaked the windows like blame. Outside, the luxury sedan rolled back in. The woman stepped out, eyes searching. She saw Daniel with his box and froze. "Why is he leaving?" The manager stiffened. "He violated company rules." The woman's gaze hardened, then softened as it landed on Daniel. "He fixed my car in the rain," she said quietly. "And he did it without asking for anything." She turned to the staff gathering behind the glass. "I'm the owner of this company." The rain finally stopped, but something heavier was about to fall. Silence swallowed the showroom. Rainwater dripped from Daniel's sleeves onto the polished floor as every face turned toward the woman. The manager's confidence drained from his posture. "Ma'am, I didn't realize." "That's clear," she interrupted, calm but cutting. "What I don't understand is how helping a customer became a fireable offense." Daniel shifted uncomfortably. He wasn't looking for justice or recognition, only a way home before his daughter worried. "It's fine," he said softly. "Rules are rules." The woman studied him, really studied him, as if measuring something far deeper than grease-stained clothes. "What's your name?" "Daniel." "Single dad." "Mechanic," he replied, almost apologetically. Her expression changed. "I'm Eleanor Hayes," she said, turning to the staff. The name rippled through the room like electricity. Founder. Majority owner. The woman whose photo hung in the executive hallway no one ever entered. Eleanor walked the length of the showroom, heels clicking with purpose. "This company was built on trust," she said. "Luxury means nothing without humanity." She stopped in front of the manager. "You saw a rule broken." "I saw a man who chose compassion in the rain," the manager stammered. "We have procedures." "And today," Eleanor replied, "we update them." She faced Daniel again. "Do you enjoy this work?" Daniel hesitated. "I do. Fixing things, it's honest. My daughter says I make broken things feel safe again." Something shimmered in Eleanor's eyes. "Then you shouldn't be punished for it." She turned back to the room. "Daniel isn't fired. He's promoted to lead a new customer care unit. One that values initiative, empathy, and doing the right thing even when no one's watching." A murmur of disbelief spread. Daniel felt the ground tilt. "Ma'am, Eleanor smiled. "You earned it long before today." As Daniel set his box down, lighter than it had been minutes ago, he realized the rain hadn't just tested him, it had revealed him. And this was only the B. Daniel sat in his car long after the showroom emptied, hands resting on the steering wheel, trying to understand how his life had changed in a single afternoon. Promotion. New unit. A future that didn't feel like a constant balancing act over an open pit. He thought of his daughter, Lily, and smiled. Tonight, he'd finally bring home good news. The next morning, Daniel arrived early, nerves humming. The staff watched him differently now, some curious, some inspired, a few uncomfortable. Eleanor met him in a quiet conference room, rain replaced by sunlight streaming through the glass. "I don't promote people for one good deed," she said. I promote people for who they are when it costs them something. She explained his role, building a team trained not just in mechanics, but in care, listening to customers, stepping in when something felt wrong, acting with judgment instead of fear. Luxury customers remember how you made them feel, she said. You already understand that. As weeks passed, Daniel proved himself. He stayed late to help stranded drivers, coached younger mechanics, and rewrote small policies that gave workers discretion in emergencies. The workplace began to change, less rigid, more human. But change always meets resistance. One evening, Daniel overheard whispers, complaints, accusations that he'd only advanced because of luck or sympathy. Doubt crept in, heavy and familiar. That night, Lily noticed his silence. Did you fix something today, Dad? She asked. I'm not sure, he admitted. She thought for a moment. You always say fixing isn't just tools. It's care. Her words settled deep. The next day, a customer arrived furious, threatening lawsuits. Daniel listened instead of reacting. He solved the problem, and earned loyalty instead of loss. Eleanor watched from afar, nodding. Leadership, Daniel realized, wasn't about titles. It was about choosing kindness again and again, even when it was harder than anger. And he was finally ready for what came. The company's annual board review arrived like a storm cloud. Daniel wasn't supposed to attend, but Eleanor insisted. You should see how decisions are really made, she told him. Around the long table sat executives armed with charts and numbers. When Daniel's department came up, the room cooled. Customer care initiatives are costly, one board member argued. We're not a charity. Daniel stayed quiet until Eleanor looked at him. Daniel, tell them what you see. He took a breath. I see fewer breakdowns escalating into crises. I see repeat customers. I see employees who feel trusted and work harder because of it. A scoff. That's anecdotal. Daniel nodded. So was firing me in the rain. Silence fell. He continued, steady now. Rules matter. But they should protect people, not punish compassion. When employees are afraid to help, customers feel it. And they leave. Eleanor slid a report across the table. Retention up, complaints down, revenue quietly rising. The numbers caught up to the values, she said. The vote passed. After the meeting, Eleanor invited Daniel to her office. I didn't just test your skill that day, she said. I tested the company. You've helped me see what needed fixing. Daniel hesitated. Why me? She smiled gently. Because leadership often comes from those who've carried responsibility without power. Weeks later, Daniel received another offer, Director of Operations. Daniel stood at the edge of the company courtyard as employees gathered for the announcement. The rain-soaked afternoon that once broke him felt like a lifetime ago. Lily stood beside him now, clutching his hand, eyes wide as she looked at the building where her dad used to come home exhausted and worried. Eleanor stepped onto the platform. This company was built with steel, engines, and precision, she said. But it will last because of people. She turned toward Daniel. A year ago, this man was fired for choosing kindness over convenience. Today, he leads our operations training nationwide. Applause rose, real, warm, earned. Daniel felt his throat tighten as he stepped forward. He didn't speak like an executive. He spoke like a father, a worker, a man who had been invisible. I didn't plan to lead anyone, he said. I just didn't want to leave someone stranded in the rain. He looked at the employees. Every day, we choose who we are when no one's watching. Power doesn't make us human, choices do. Later that evening, Daniel and Lily walked home under clear skies. Does this mean you won't worry anymore? She asked. Daniel smiled. I'll always worry a little. But now I know doing the right thing can change more than just one moment. Months passed. The company culture transformed. Stories spread, mechanics helping late-night travelers, managers listening before judging, rules bending just enough to let humanity breathe. Other companies noticed. Some followed. One evening, Daniel found the card Eleanor had pressed into his hand that rainy day, tucked in an old wallet. He realized he never called the number. He didn't need to. Because sometimes, the greatest reward for kindness isn't money or promotion, it's knowing that one small act can fix more than a broken car. It can fix a system, a future, a life. And for Daniel, it all began in the rain.